Hello again, and welcome to my creative African cooking channel, Ndudu by Fafa. Ndudu by Fafa.
Hello everyone, my name is Fafa and thank you very much for tuning in for another experience with Fafa. Now today I am making a fusion of a recipe. So it's definitely inspired by the Nigerian coconut rice and I'll be making it with chicken. Yes, it's going to be a one-pot dish, but it's going to be oh so delicious. Honestly, this dish is making my Christmas menu because it's so easy to emulate and the flavors alone. And of course, I've got my spice blends, which I have discussed in detail in a previous video. I'll leave a link in the description box below and I'll also pin it at the top. And then you can familiarize yourself with the blend of flavors, natural flavors, of course. Now I'm going to start off with my chicken thighs. They have been deboned and the skin have also been taken off. I mean, you can just use the bones in there and also have the skin in there, not a problem. It's always up to your personal preference. So the next thing is I'm going to marinate my chicken in my spice blends. I'm using the green chili and garlic based one first, and then the next one will include the aniseed, exactly. And I'm just going to mix everything together and marinate this for a minimum of an hour. Better so if you can marinate it overnight, then you're onto a winner. Now if this is your first time, thank you very much for tuning in. Please don't forget to subscribe whilst you're here and also click the notification button and select all, which means you do not miss any future videos. So after a minimum of an hour of marinating your chicken, take it out of the fridge and bring it to room temperature, which will take about 10 minutes depending on which part of the world you are. Now, once you've done that, melt some coconut oil, and because of course it's cold here, my coconut oil is always going to solidify. So once I melt it, I'm just going to be browning my chicken. Now, what's going to happen is the marinade around the chicken is just going to turn into this marmalade sort of texture and color of that brownish color, and that just adds color and flavor to my rice. So after about 8 to 10 minutes of frying, the next thing is I'm adding my shallots, but you can use your normal onions. Preferably if you've got the red onions, that'd be great, but you know, whatever onions you have, that would equally work. And then for that smoky je ne sais quoi flavor, I'm using smoked pancetta. You can use your sausages, or you can omit it altogether, or you can add a little bit of smoked paprika to your dish. I think Sweeter Chilli has made a smoked paprika powder recipe. Yes, I'll leave it in the description box below so you can definitely make your own. Now, I'm going to fry this mixture then for about 10 minutes, and that's just to allow that infusion to take place. The next thing I'm going to add is my slow roasted baby plum tomatoes. So I just drizzled a little bit of olive oil, salt, a little bit of sugar to it, and then slow roasted it in the oven at 130 degrees for about 2 hours exactly. Now, if you would like me to show you how I make my slow baked or slow roasted baby plum tomatoes, leave your comments below and I will do that for you. So I'm just going to fry this mixture just for about 6 minutes. It's just to allow that infusion to take place. And then I'm using mild green chilies. You can use your habanero chili if that's what you have available, and also if you need it a little bit on the spicier side. But I just want the delicate flavors to marinate and just to marry in here. Then of course I'm adding my bay leaves, which plays a pivotal part in this recipe. I'm going to mix everything together until it's well combined. Now, in the absence of your fresh bay leaves, you can always use your dry bay leaves. Exactly. Next thing is I've got my long grain basmati rice, which I have washed till the water did run clear. And here I did soak it for about 10 minutes. Now, I have discussed this in detail in most of my rice recipes, but I would link how I make my coconut rice recipe below, so you can watch that as well.
Ndudu by Fafa, Koba Ndudu and Yukwelu. Fafa, come on, bring Ndudu and blow Fafa. Alaba flavors are all in my bala. Ndudu Vivin, Dr. Ndudu. Hey,
As you saw me earlier, I did add some shrimp powder to my mixture, and I've mixed everything together until it's well combined. But I'm also frying it for about 8 minutes. This is just to allow all the flavors that I've incorporated in this pot to infuse, to be like, hello, how are you, shrimpy? Hi, I'm Ginger. Yes, I'm ANISEED. I'm adding that licorice flavor to my dish. Anyway, back to reality. Next thing is, of course, I've added my coconut milk. You can make your own, and I think maybe I might have to cover that recipe in another video at some point. But here I'm mixing everything together until it's well combined. And at this point, I have reduced the heat, of course, to the lowest setting, because that's what I use in frying the rice. But of course, once I do add the liquid, I'll increase the heat, and once it starts to bubble, I'll then reduce the heat to its lowest setting again. Now, there's a rule of thumb when it comes to cooking rice. So if, let's say, for example, you've got 2 cups of rice, you use the equivalent in water, 2 cups of water. And then you will use a 1/4 cup of extra water, and that just makes room for the steam, whereby most of the water would evaporate. Exactly. So even if it's 4 cups of rice, you do add the 4 cups of water, you also just add a 1/4 bit of water to it, so a 1/4 cup of water. So there's always, if it's 10 cups of rice, 10 cups of water, and a 1/4 bit of the cup of water. Exactly. I hope I've made myself clear. Anyway, so here, of course, I'm going to add my salt to taste, and I've mixed everything together. And as I mentioned, I'm going to reduce that heat. And of course, I did actually place my parchment paper on top, which of course I missed, filming, but is the one that I use in roasting my tomatoes. So yeah, after about 10 minutes, I've taken it out, and I can see that the water has definitely evaporated, but it's still moist, and I know that it doesn't require any extra water or any moisture or anything at all. It will just cook in its steam. So I'm just mixing everything together. And of course, because I'm using a non-stick pan, you could just see that the bottom crunchy part is coming through, but that is what I want. That's why I use the non-stick pan. I want that crunchy, crystallized, yeah, you can tell. It's all about the textures. So after another 15 minutes of cooking that on that low heat, here we have our pièce de résistance. This looks good. Now, please, if you do like what you see, don't forget to, click the like button whilst you're here. And also don't forget to share with your family and friends and invite them over to this channel. Definitely. We love that. Definitely, I do love it. Absolutely. So at this point, I'm going to be adding my frozen mixed vegetables, which contains green beans, peas, carrots, and sweet corn. And I'm just going to let that residual heat cook this through. So that would make the vegetables crunchy and al dente and just perfect, and I did not want to add it before because I want the carrots to taste exactly like carrots, the peas as peas because they lend their sweetness, the sweet corn exactly as it is. And yeah, I think this pièce de résistance is ready. Have you got your bowl ready? Flavor definitely this should make your Christmas list. Absolutely. Now, as I mentioned, please do not forget to like the video, share with your family and friends, invite them over, join the notification gang. Yes, and I can't wait to communicate with you guys later. And I hope everyone is taking very good care of themselves. Sending oodles and oodles of love and light your way. Now, naturally, I'd leave the list of ingredients and measurements on my blog, Ndudu by Fafa.blogspot.com. So do check it out. Exactly. And I'll leave the link in the description box below. And also, you'll find me on Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as Ndudu by Fafa. So do also pass by and say hi. Now, I need to actually say a special thank you to my notification gang. You know, they're a bunch of positive individuals that I absolutely adore. And I love our conversations that we do have. You can definitely join that by leaving your comments definitely below. Exactly. Anytime you like the video, you leave a comment, you're part of the notification gang anyway. And to my loyal subscribers, I appreciate you. Heartfelt thanks. You know, we did the 100,000 and went over it. So this is definitely a special thank you recipe. Exactly.